All right, recording this again as I realized the headset I was talking in was not plugged into my laptop. I'm going to start this over, probably be a little more brief this time. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to delete all the drawings on this chart right now. I know when I come into a chart cold and I just see everything everywhere, it's a bit overwhelming. So I'm going to just remove everything except for my constant indicators here and just draw them in. So I want to start on the monthly. So I got a monthly chart here, weekly chart, a daily chart, and then a weekly that has RSI and then the quarterly pivot points here. I'm going to go into the monthly here. So something I just noticed today, which is pretty cool. I think quite a few weeks ago I had drawn the volume profile, the anchored volume profile, and the point of control was down. I think it was around 9 or 10 cents. And given all of the volume that's come into this chart in the last few weeks, the point of control has actually come up and met where price currently is. So that's constructive. So we can now say, whatever's developing here, if it's a low, I'm skeptical that this is a low, but whatever's developing here is developing at the point of control here, which is the price where the most volume has taken place. So that's good. I'm going to draw a fib retracement over this move here, and it looks like it's just shy of a 618 on this, and I don't know, it's maybe subject to a little margin of error from my drawing. I would feel just a little bit better if it had just taken this out a little bit. This makes me wonder if this is gonna be kind of a short-lived rally, and then it might just make a marginal undercut, just because so many people are kind of looking for price to bounce off the 618. Um, and so it's not uncommon to see the volume kick in right at the 618. Everybody's got the same idea. It's very well known, and then it will undercut it by just a little bit, maybe not even enough. I'm not saying it's got to go to the next fib level down at 786 or anything. I mean, that's down at like 5 cents, but maybe folks put their stops here. I don't know where folks put their stops, but uh, because this is so well known, they'll challenge your conviction of this 618 bounce by sending it a little lower. Also, pretty common to see a volume climax, what looks like a volume climax, and then it will marginally undercut on lower volume and then go. See that happen all the time. So I have a few things kind of, and then actually, let me add one more. If this is an ABC, I'm kind of looking for this to be a five-wave move, and right now it looks like three. This isn't enough. Yeah, this isn't enough of a move up for me to be like to say this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just don't think so. I think this is a 1, 2, 3. Um, so yeah, I know it sounds like I'm kind of picking this apart, but this is probably the most interesting chart that I've been looking at since probably platinum, 2022, 23, and silver 22, 23. This is definitely the one I'm the most into. There's a few biotech ones I'm into as well, but this is the one I'm watching every single day at this point. So what else? Kind of to back my thesis that we should probably get another low. It does look like if we measure the ABC, of this alleged ABC, if you want symmetry on these two legs, which is kind of what I think most folks look for as their base case, that's also lower, right? That's down here around 9 cents or so. It doesn't have to happen. You see marginal undercuts all the time. Um, so it's kind of just on my to-do list of what has this chart achieved, and this hasn't been achieved yet. So I think that's good for, well, we can talk technical since right here. So RSI 20 is under the 50 point here. So kind of would expect a little resistance there, and then the MACD's got kind of the same thing going on. It's under the zero line here and under the signal line, so there's going to be a couple tiers of MACD resistance to get through there. Red DI is over green, so you have to think there's a good chance there'll be a little bit of resistance there as well. So quite a bit going on. Moving average is pointing down, although it's quite far away. I mean, this could move all the way up to 45 cents if it did it immediately, and it would be testing a descending moving average. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong um, with this move up. Um, so that's everything on the monthly. Let's go put that back. So that's the monthly, and let me just hide some of my drawing now, just so as to not overwhelm the rest of these windows here. I think that is pretty good. What is this? For some reason, the fib, I thought I hid this. Well, I know I hid it because it's not showing up. I'm not sure why that's showing up over here, but no big deal. Still pretty clean. Um, so breaking up through the quarterly pivot point currently, not quite oversold on the weekly. Uh, and from looking back, it's never truly been oversold on the weekly on any of the larger RSIs. This is an RSI 20. I'm going to change it to a 14 just for a second because I know that's what folks usually use. Because I am actually curious if it's even gotten there with a 14. So it has. It has on the 14. So that's worth noting. It did not. There is no divergence on the RSI. On this new low. It is confirmed. So you could use that maybe as some evidence that another low might be coming, but you don't have to have divergence. I would love to see RSI 20 oversold. So might get that on the flush down if we get that. What else is going on? So weekly, so some construction on the weekly here. MACD testing the signal line and holding. So it's pulling away from that. It'll have zero line resistance coming up. Um, it's gonna also have some DI. It's right at DI resistance, so we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, the moving averages are descending, so there's a lot of work to do. But look, the volume is lovely. I love what I'm seeing on the volume here, especially after all this time that's gone by. So that's really good. Um, and then the daily. So a few videos ago, I think we were looking in this move right here. We put in this high or this low, a high, a higher low, and then we were kind of in this big move up. And I was looking for some type of small pullback and then a new high, and then for it to kind of take a shape similar to what it's taking right now. That didn't happen, right? This looks like three up and then some type of ABC, and then we're getting a new high here. So I'm kind of leaning towards this is corrective, which plays into the thesis of another low here. How much upside as kind of a base case? Again, none of these are like hard rules. If there were hard rules in trading, everyone would be really good at it once they found out something always worked. Um, but yeah, kind of base case, you'll get up to maybe 22 here. It looks like it goes as high as a little over 21. So where it gets up here, this between the 1 and the 1.236, I'll be watching the reaction off that, see if we can get that other low. But that may be the bottom's in, right? That's who knows. If you look at this, I'm just kind of thinking about this. Yeah, no, not so much. I was kind of thinking it has sort of the look of the monthly, and I guess I would argue the correction here has sort of the same look here, but this move up definitely doesn't look the same. Not actionable, really, just something that just caught my eye. So, but we can kind of use our imagination here. If this does do a marginal undercut, and it takes out a new high, that tells you, this type of pattern could do the same thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's terribly useful. So yeah, I mean, we'll see if I go into a 4 hour. So again, I was really looking in this move here that was taking place a few weeks ago, the end of June, I guess it was. I was looking for some type of pullback out of this move that kind of mirrored this in time somewhat, and nothing really got close. It's just so this just has this three wave look, and then this pullback is so deep that I don't like considering it a wave four, although it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine, but usually your wave fours you're looking for something shallow and then quick fifth, and then, but that's not what we're getting. And then this doesn't really look impulsive to me at this point. It just looks like kind of contained corrective up until the ending parts here. So all that to say, I don't know, and I'm not married to Elliott Wave as a framework by which price has to move. I think there's something there. There's at least a partial story there. It works well enough that I trust it, but I don't need it. I don't need to see it happen, but I like to see it happen, I guess is the way to put it. If you look at a lot of really bullish charts, they usually exhibit some type of Elliott structure. Though there's a few I saw. Was it 6 months ago? I forget when silver was it already run a lot and it was pulling back before this recent longer consolidation. It put in what looked like five waves to the downside, and then it just blew right through it with new highs by a huge margin. And for me to call it three waves, I really have to invent some creative wave counting. So, that's where I would say whether it's my shortcoming as a not expert Elliott wave guy, or it's just not a perfect system. Probably a combination of the two. I don't need that. I'm sort of rambling here. But I think this is good. I think this is good. I'm gonna keep watching this for now. Definitely, I'm checking in on this one every single day. Um, just seeing how price is reacting. So right now, the reaction off a descending moving average here on the weekly. Want to see how it reacts to that because this is a short setup on the weekly currently. But you do have the MACD pinch, which gives you a little hope in the face of this bearish setup. So we'll see. But right now, we have a weekly descending trend, and then on the daily, we have this ascending trend. So we'll see how they play out here. Next daily setup will be when it comes back to these moving averages. I mean, if you want to know the most immediate trend, looks like you could go with, yeah, um, yeah, 6 hour looks good, 4 hour looks good. On the hourly, it's starting to break down a little bit. So it looks like anywhere between the two. The two's not real strong. Do have a little bit of a hidden divergence sort of look to this, but I think for a typical pullback, the 4 hour looks pretty prime here. If you are playing this to the long side, you just got to know, you're kind of trading up into uh, the current right now. So not financial advice. You do you. This might just make a new all-time low or go to zero. I don't know. It's crypto. It kind of does all kinds of crazy stuff. So you take care of your own financials. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.